Hello, TikTokers. What I'm going to talk about this morning is not about news, it's about some information I came across. And it's to do with the loneliness, with the male loneliness epidemic. And apparently, there are a lot of lonely men out there. And why are they lonely? Because it appears that women have surpassed them. It appears that women don't need them. It appears that women prefer to be independent and live alone. And I never really thought about it as being an epidemic, which is the term that they use. It never really crossed my mind because as women, I think we see it as an individual choice. And we do not kind of understand the wider implications. If all women decide, look, I don't really need a man. I can work, I can pay my bills. If I need anything done, I can call someone in. Not too interested in sex, or if I am, it's easy enough to get. So why do I need a man? And so if you have this as a collective thought, can you imagine what would happen to men? And a lot of men are getting angry because women don't need them in the same way anymore. If the man can't provide for them, they feel that they don't need them. And yet men have so many other qualities. They have so many other characteristics over and above them providing for an individual. I understand that, women have made mistakes. So a lot of them are angry, they're bitter because they've been betrayed and have been hurt, but so have men. And I'm thinking to myself that women, I don't know, I can't say the word shouldn't, but I think women need to open up their minds to a different mindset when it comes to men. Because, as far as men are concerned, they've become obsolete. They've become unnecessary. And can you imagine how that makes them feel? And I'm not saying it's a majority of men, but it's a lot of men. And I think among the black sector in particular, it's even more prevalent. I wrote down some names that I came across yesterday, and it says men have become disposable, and it's causing rage amongst them. You've got more women in the workplace than men. And when you think back in the day, you wouldn't even see a woman in the workplace. It was predominantly male. Now it's like they flipped a switch and it's gone the total opposite way. And I'm wondering, is that by design? These things happen so repetitiously. When change happens, it's not straight away so that you notice it. It kind of sneaks up on you, and it's like one day you wake up and say, hold on a minute. Where are all the men? You go to the workplace, it's full of women. You go to a nightclub, it's full of women. Predominantly women. And it's predominantly women in the workplace. And you ask yourself, where are the men? The men are at home probably feeling deflated, feeling, what is the point? They're going to reject me anyway. So what kind of world are we living in then? Is it a world of self-sufficiency, or is it a world of selfishness? Is selfishness okay? Is it a world where we've stopped caring for other people? Is it a world where we don't want to share with other people? Is it a world where I can do bad all by myself? And this is aimed at women, of course. But yeah, men feel hard done by, and they feel it's the woman's fault. When you think about men who have relationships or who have tried relationships and brought women into their homes, and the women have ended up kicking them out, having children, and forcing them to leave their own homes, what kind of world is that? The man has bought the home, but the woman gets it because she's got children. You might say that's the way it should be, but what is given to the man? Have you thought about that? It's harder for men to get a job than it is for females, because females have that charm, they have that softness, they're less threatening. Like I said, more predominantly in the black sector than it is in the white sector. But, you know, black males are often looked at as threatening and intimidating and uncontrollable. So if they are going to take somebody of colour, it's more likely to be a female. And then they find themselves trying to manipulate, because it's so difficult to get a woman, they find themselves lying, manipulating, being deceitful in order to get a woman, with the hope that hopefully she'll like him enough to keep him, to stay with him. Some women are stubborn though. Some women are just like, talk to the hand. I don't want to know. A lot of it is blamed on women's independence and level of education for surpassing men and not wanting them, causing men to feel rejected, neglected, depressed, isolated, useless. Independent women are not willing to enter relationships, marriage, and they use men as replaceable parts. And then you have the women where there is a stable relationship between a male and a female. You have this woman infiltrating it, trying to break it up. And then because that relationship has been so mundane over the years, normally it's long-term relationships, it's been so mundane over the years, this woman that comes in and shows the male attention, they're just like, whoa. They've gone, broken up a relationship, and another single woman and another disheartened man. I was watching a video last night. This man was in this long-term relationship, Korea, of course, Korean movie, and it was called Remarriage and Desires. And this man had been in this really happy marriage, and he had a daughter, and this seductive woman came in, and she just spun him head over heels with her body and her sexuality. The next thing you know, he's told his wife he's leaving her. He wants a divorce. He tells her he wants a divorce. The wife agrees to a divorce. He goes back to the woman and says, look, my wife has agreed to divorce. She goes, why are you divorcing your wife? I don't want you. And then she had swindled him and done all sorts. He ended up committing suicide. So it's very difficult when men are on their own not to be deceived by women, because they become desperate. And when they see a woman who's showering them with attention, it's just like, that's the attention they need. But what happens when that attention is false? They then get hurt, they get burned, they decide, oh, I don't want a woman. So you end up with two separate lifestyles. So, expectations and gender stereotypes. You often find that there's another reason why relationships break down is because you've got the gender stereotype, and it's changed. Men used to be the provider. They used to go in the mines. They used to go in the army, and the woman would stay at home looking after the house, doing all the domestic stuff. But now men will move in with a woman. They're not providing, and they're not doing the domestic stuff either. And so that causes breakdowns. So what I wrote down here from the training: expect women to be domesticated even if they're not providing. They do not think about washing up or cleaning or the ones that are traditionally female jobs.